I've been collating parts for this to do my air ride build for about 3-4 months now. And today is the day where we actually finally get started. So let's have a quick look, see how we're going to go about things, because this isn't going to be a standard sort of setup. So let me take you through what the plan is, what I've bought, and then we'll just be getting on with it. It's one of the hottest days of the year, so I'm already sweating. It's only 8:30, so we'll see how much we can get done today. So to start off with the bag setup, now I bought a second-hand air ride setup for this car. It came with manifold, tank, a set of BCs with bags on. I wasn't happy with the bags, they were too small and they were slightly cracking, so I spec'd these from Airmext. They are a Chinese-based company where you measure up your shock and they will make a bag that fits it for you. So that's what we've got for these. I will link the part number in the description. And yeah, so BC coilovers, which is the same we've got on here. So I've got a set of BCs coming off, set of BCs going on, but with bags. So coil on bag. Yeah, and then got a little bit of a metallic hose, braided hose, sorry, for part of the airline. We're going to be doing a dual compressor setup, so I actually have 4 compressors here, 2 from Viar, the old 38EC, and a Chinese chrome copy. Now I'm probably going to run the black Viar ones for now, and then just keep these as a spare set. For the tank, this is just a standard airlift tank, and I've just converted the back of it to fit the compressors and put a water trap on it, so that's going to be mounted in the boot. And then that leads us on to the management. Now obviously if you're following the channel, you'll see that we've just installed Airlift 3P to Ollys 190E, and that works great, but it is very expensive. Now when I bought the system, it had a manual air setup with analog gauges. Wasn't really keen on that, so I was thinking about doing a little Arduino control system, control this manifold, because all it's doing is turning solenoids on and off and reading some pressures, right? And then I sort of led me over to this. This is from OASMAN. So I've got a standard manifold and then a custom PCB, which will run it with an ESP32, which allows me to run a wireless controller at the front of the car, and also control it with some game controllers like a Wii Fit, which I've got, Xbox controller, that sort of stuff as well. So if you're into your DIY, this is a really good option. All the information is open source. They give you the board designs, you buy some pressure sensors, and you build it yourself at home. So yeah, really cool. Really enjoyed doing it at home. Didn't really film too much about it, but yeah, obviously as I go through the install towards the end, when we start running this, there'll be a little bit more information about how this works, how I'm going to be controlling things, etc., etc. But yeah, so that's the management setup. Now this, in comparison to Airlift, if you're going to buy Airlift 3P new, you're looking at about 2 grand. This probably costs less than 500 quid-ish, depending what you've already got. So it's a good option, and obviously it's completely serviceable. I can change individual pressure sensors, and also because they give you all the software code, you can customize it if you're that well inclined as well. So really awesome. If you want any more information on it, drop me a DM on Instagram, be happy to chat to you about it. Now there's also a lot of other random mixed parts I've bought to put on this for this setup, and we will run through them as we go. But I think the plan is at the beginning is to run the wiring first, so get the car up in the air, and let's map out where we're going to run the power from the front to the back. It's obviously a long way, this car is like 5 meters long. Right, so here's the plan. Obviously batteries right at the front of this car. We have a grommet down the back there, which we might be able to utilise, or you see light through there, that runs straight into the main loom from the fuse box and runs straight out there underneath the car and into the footwell down there. Now the benefits of this is that it's going to be easy. The problem is when you run really low on these, you actually really need to do a wire tuck, because obviously these get rubbed on with the wheels and we don't want that happening. So we need to probably need to chuck the wires up here on top of this fender sort of bit. So, and especially don't want to be running through this because that's the ABS sensor and you cannot buy them. So yeah, good fun. So that's the plan for the front. And coming into the rear, I've removed this kick plate. We need to come out underneath the glove box. Probably going to take the glove box out. Take this bottom trim off, maybe glove box out, and then run the cable through this underneath there. We're going to have to go backwards from there, but I'll have to figure that out as we go. So let's get on with the front. Right. So just back there is the one we're aiming for, but she's pulled the glove box out. You see it just up there. So we're going to try and get through there. That goes through the wheel well though, so we're going to have to tuck that. So here's the main power wire we're going to run. Obviously I'm doing a dual compressor setup, so we're going to need enough sufficient power to run to the back. So we've got this 4 gauge amp power cable, hopefully with enough length in it to get down there. So yeah, we're going to run it through this hole here, loop it up that side, up into the well. So this little fella needs to go through there. Obviously we need to leave enough up here to connect this fuse to there, and then probably want to tie it to something as well. So maybe to tie it there like that. That obviously needs redoing because that's shit. Right, I've just cable tied it to that top loom. And we poked it through the grommet. Now I will have to tuck these wires, but I think that's a job for another day. So we're not going to drive the car that low, so we might just sit on that big loom, but we shall see. I'll keep an eye on it. This is where we are at. You can see we come through that grommet back there, and now I just need to try and tuck this wire into the carpet under here. I might just run it next to this, one all the way up maybe, see if I can push it up that channel into the back. To lift the rear bench out, we've got to about here. The rear seats need to come forward. So there's some hidden bolts behind the headrests on these ones, and then some bolts on the side. This one's actually snapped off by the previous owner, so good old fun. And so do one on that side as well. So we're just going to lever this forward, and then see if there is a route that goes through a grommet or whether we've got to drill a hole. So we're in the boot. I'll show you where I came through. You don't actually have to drill any holes. If you prise this trim out, there is a slight gap you can run cables through. Then we just need to push this back in. Same as we did the 190, I'm going to run everything into a block. We has A&L fuses in it, and we can distribute and group all the neutrals and stuff. So that's really useful. Not my bodged up repairer back there. Yeah, so I just need to find something to mount that, and then it'll be a case of running the accessory wire from the front. So we need a 12 volt ignition as well. Run that to the front, then we can run most of the other wires loosely in the back, and yeah, pretty much. So really, actually, I sort of want that accessible. So I don't know whether to chuck it up there or something maybe, or I don't know, tie it to something back there maybe. Not sure yet, so we shall see. I'll have a look in a minute. Alright, life update. I've mounted that up there. Cable tied the power cable so it doesn't stress the join. And then I've ground out some metal on this to mount the neutral. I'll just keep the cable length for now because I might move it. I'm not too sure, depends how well it works. And then what we've got is main power for the manifold, neutral return for the manifold into the block. And then rather than running a cable from the front, I've found a 12-volt accessory which is for the aerial, which obviously doesn't work in this model. It's broken, they're really expensive, so it's never going to be repaired. I'm going to run that off of there, so I've just crimped that on there. So there for the manifold. So really we need to put the, normally we need to run the lines probably before we put the tank back here. There's a few spare grommets up here. Which will run, which I guess means I'm now going to be doing the shocks and the bags. So I'm going to remove the front coilovers. Literally it's quite easy on these cars. Got one bolt on the bottom, and then just through the top. That should just fall out. So So that's one BC coilover. Right, that is both front bags in, and then I'm running my braided hose. There's a nice little place you can cable tie it there. And then the plan is, let's see under here, there's plastic runners to run the lines through there, and there is one on the other side I think. So that's the plan for lines, but I'll put the rear bags on first and then we'll get on with that. So for the rear then, the top mount bolts are behind the seat, just underneath the parcel shelf, so pretty much get access from here. Some of them previously cut a hole so they could adjust the dampening on these ones and on the other side, but that wouldn't be there, it was OEM. So yeah, so we're going to take those out, and then we'll take out, there's the one blower shock bolt, and then that should just wiggle out. Yeah, so I'm going to take that out now. Back in, I haven't decided where I'm going to run the line to yet, but probably across the top control arm, back at top, across the top of the subframe. So we just got to do the other side now. All the bags are on. Just got the ramp pretty much at the highest we can go, and what you can see is these plastic trims run all the way down each side. I mean this side, because where, oh no, I should still be able to get it off. And then so the plan is to run this into there and then a plastic line down to the back, which means we need to take them all off. They've probably never been off before. So let's see how many bolts we can strip. Right, lines are run. As you can see, there's lots of cable ties hanging down. That's where I've run them. Look, that's going to be affected. I've been working up the bloody mine. And Ollie joined as well. The rust was falling off the bottom of the car. So the front lines are running up either side of those channels, and then I've run up to a grommet, which is just up a little bit up here to the rear. And then I just need to run the lines for the rear bags now, and I'm labelling them at the back so I know which one's which, and then I can connect them up to the manifold. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. So just need to run the lines for the rear, and then we can put the tank in, connect up all do the last bit of wiring, and then pressure it all up basically and see if it leaks. So